Kenny Perkins, and I'm your neighbor who lives in Acton. And I've ran a movie ranch since 1992. I have a bunch of movie cars from 1919 all the way up to 1990, and I've been in a lot of major movies with my cars. I've been a TV series like American Dreams, also The Carnival, which was an HBO deal, and I've never had any problems. I live on a dirt road in Acton. I'm the last house there, and my wife and I, we were out of town. We were visiting my uncle who lives in Scotland, and as we were gone, the goon squad came by and they put a deal stating that I had a lot of violations on my land, and so when I came back home, I gave Oscar Gomez 3 calls. The guy never did answer, and then afterwards, I guess it was a couple weeks later, the goon squad came by, and I was working on my well, and they asked me who I was. I said, "Sir, I don't think it's any of your business." And then they kept on harassing me, and as I'm walking away, they says, "You better tell us your name, or you're going to be in trouble, mister." And so I told them, "Yeah, right, my name's Kenny Stewart." I almost thought my name was Marco Polo, but anyway. Anyway, a week later, they came by. They said that they had a warrant. They came by in the morning, and I'm a diabetic, and I have other medical problems. I didn't even have a chance to take my medicine or anything. They arrested me. Then they came onto my land, and I had some tenants living there. They 2 families. They told them that both of them had to move. My mobile homes were illegal, and that I was storing some English double-decker buses that belonged to a friend of mine that was paying me for parking them there. Plus I had her 10 taxi cabs. I had some other things there, plus my fleet of cars. I still have the very first 3 cars I've had since I was a kid also. But, then later on they said that everything had to go. I lost $2,000 income because of the crap that they had put me through. And I had one renter left who had a bus that he parked on my property, and he was living in it, and they harassed him so bad that he had to move. And when I was a kid, I always was really enamored with these cabin cruisers and all of this, and so as an adult I was very fortunate. I was able to buy a 1966 Trolleycraft 32-foot cabin cruiser with 2 Chrysler Marine engines. I just loved that boat, and I had it for a long time. But then after the last renter left, I could no longer make my slip payments, and so I lost my boat. My wife and I, we almost lost our house, and right now they say that my one building is, besides being illegal, it doesn't meet the setbacks. But if you measure from the property line, which is in the middle of the road on back, it meets it. In the second place, it's a private road. It's a dirt road. The county doesn't maintain it, and the county has no authority over it. But anyway, I got to move my building, and since I had lost my income, I was unable to take care of all of this stuff. And so finally, since they had, maybe I should back up and mention, when they put me in jail, I was in the cop car probably for an hour and a half, maybe even longer, and I was complaining about the handcuffs. And so finally, when they did take me in, one of the handcuffs came off, the other one didn't. They had to get some bolt cutters to remove it, and there were marks on my wrist where they had finally got it off, and they gave me some Band-Aids to put on it. And I told them that I was a diabetic. They took me to the hospital, and there for a long time, and then finally the doctor, checked my heartbeat and says, "Oh, the guy's all right." Never checked my blood sugar or anything. So then I go back to the jail, and I haven't eaten all day, So finally that evening, I get the shakes, and this usually happens when your blood sugar drops. And I was very worried because I've heard stories of, a person being a diabetic, their blood pressure or blood sugar drops, and they can go into a coma, maybe even die, So I'm pounding on the door, yelling. It says, "Hey, I'm a diabetic, and my blood sugar's down. I need some orange juice or something." And I did see a lady sheriff further on down, and I yelled at her. She just blew me off. But fortunately, much later on, they put some food through the slots there, and I ate that. And some of the other inmates were very kind to me and gave me, you know, their dessert and all. And that's how I made it through there, you know. And you know, I've never been into trouble in my life. I've been a law-abiding citizen, and the county has just about has ruined my life. I used to have really good credit. I no longer have that anymore. And the district attorney keeps on threatening me. He says, if you do not comply, you're going to be doing jail time, and I'll make it stick. This is what Campbell was saying, and you know, it's just it's a shame, and there's nothing that I could do except for trying to comply. And sadly, I've had to sell 3 of my classic cars, 2 Mustangs. One was a '67 that we bought back in 1981 from the original owner, whose husband bought the car for her on her birthday. We had to sell that one. I had a '54 Hudson Jet that's been in a lot of movies, including the movie Pleasantville, and it belonged to my best friend who passed away. And I had to sell that car to come up with the money to comply with everything. And you know, what these people are doing is illegal. Also, a person can run a business out of their house, like I was doing. It's a low-profile business. Heck, they sure took my money for a business license, but then they say, oh, you know, you're illegal, you know. So anyway, this is my story, and I know some other people have had worse stories, but I did lose $2,000 a month income.